Good afternoon, everybody. So, in this lecture, we are going to see Module 3, Design Pattern Catalog. There are three types, as we know. One is creational, structural, and behavioral. Uh, this creational addresses problems of creating an object in a flexible way and separate creation from operation and use. Whereas in structural, it addresses problems of using object-oriented constructs like inheritance to organize classes and objects. In behavioral, it addresses the problems of assigning responsibilities to the classes. It suggests both static relationship and pattern of communication. Example is use case. These are based different design patterns. 23 design patterns are segregated based on three main types. One is creational, structural, and behavioral. In this module, we are going to see all the structural design patterns. So like adapter, bridge, composite, decorator, facade, flyweight, and proxy. Coming to structural patterns are concerned with how classes and objects are composed to form large structures. Structural class pattern uses inheritance to compose, interface, or implementation. This pattern is particularly useful for making independently developed class libraries which can work together. Structural object pattern describes the way to compose objects to realize new functionality. The added flexibility of object composition comes from the ability to change the composition at runtime, which is impossible with static class composition. As we know, the template of design pattern, which has different subtopics like pattern name and classification, intent, also known as motivation, applicability, structure, participants and collaboration, implementation, example, known uses, consequences, and related patterns. The pattern name, adapt, first design pattern we will see under structural design pattern is adapter, whose intent is convert the interface of class into another interface which client expect. Adapter lets the classes work together that could not otherwise because of incompatible interfaces. Collaboration is clients call operation on an adapter instance, and in turn the adapter calls the adaptee operation that carry out the request. The another alternative name for this design pattern is a wrapper class. As far as motivation of this adapter is concerned, so sometimes a toolkit class that is designed for reuse is not reusable only because its interface does not match the domain specific interface an application requires. For example, consider an example of drawing editor that lets the user draw and arrange graphic elements like polygon, text, etc. into pictures and diagrams. The interface for graphical objects is defined by an abstract class called as the shape. The editor defined the subclass of shape for each kind of graphical object. Classes for elementary geographic shapes are easy to implement, but a text shape subclass that can display and edit text is more difficult to implement. Example is screen updates, buffer and buffer updates. Now applicability, where you are going to use. You use this adapter pattern when you want to use an existing class and its interface does not match the one you need. You want to create a reusable class that cooperates with unrelated or unforeseen classes, that is classes that doesn't necessarily have compatible interfaces. You need to use several existing subclasses, but it's impractical to adapt their interfaces by subclassing everyone. An object adapter can adapt the interface of its parent class. Now we'll see the structure. There are two versions, a class adapter version and an object adapter version. In class adapter, a class adapter uses multiple inheritance to adapt one inheritance to one interface to another. So we have client, target, adapter, then target extends this adapter, and then in adapter method is request, so which services the specific request. In object oriented also same thing, client, target, adapter, adaptee and adapter, and adaptee will serve the specific request. Now, as far as participants are concerned, we are having target, client, adaptee, and adapter. What is target? Target defines the domain-specific interface that client uses. Client collaborates with objects conforming to target interface. Adaptee defines an existing interface that needs adapting. Adapter adapts the interface of adaptee to the target interface. Now collaboration. Clients call the operations on an adapter instance. In turn, the adapter class adaptee operations that carry out the request. What is the consequence? Class and object adapter have different trade-offs. So one is a class adapter. Adapter adapts adaptee to target by committing to concrete adaptee class. As a sequence, a class adapter won't work when we want to adapt a class and all its subclasses. Let's adapter override some of the adaptee's behavior since adapter is a subclass of adaptee. It introduces only one object and no additional pointer indirection is needed to get the adaptee. An object adapter. So it lets a single adapter work with many adaptees, that is the adaptee itself and all of its subclasses. The adapter can also add functionalities to all adaptees at once. It makes it harder to override adaptee's behavior. It will require subclassing adaptee and making the adapter refer to the subclass rather than the adaptee itself. Issues to be considered when using a adapter pattern. So issues are how much adapting does adapter do? Pluggable adapters. It describes the classes with built-in interface adaptation using two-way adapters to provide the transparency. uh, Implementation issues. Implementing class adapter in C++. Adapter would inherit publicly from target and privately from adaptee. This adapter would be subtype of the target but not of the adaptee. Pluggable adapters. Find a narrow interface for adaptee, the smallest subclass of operation that tells us do the adaptation. The narrow interface leads to three implementation approaches. One is using abstract operation, using delegate operation object, and parameterized adapter. So one using abstract operation, one example they had given with respect to the tree. So tree display with the parameters client and target. Different method they have mentioned over here. Then directory, which will be like directory tree display is nothing but the adapter. File system entity is nothing but adaptive. So one example they had given. Using delegate objects, they had given one example where the tree display class, it delegates the operation to tree accessories accessor delegates. Parameterized adapter. The usual way to support the pluggable adapter in Smalltalk is to parameterize an adapter with one or more blocks. The block construct supports adaptation without subclassing. A block can adapt a request and the adapter can stoke a block for each individual request. So one example they have mentioned over here. So directory display, tree display on tree root, get children, block, node get subdirectories, create graph, C node, block node create graphic, C node. So it can be as far as parametric object is concerned. So you can have get subdirectories as well as create graphics node. These are nothing but the different known uses and related patterns. I'm not going to read much because it's a self-explanatory. Moving on to the next, second structure design pattern is bridge. So it lets you split a giant class or a set of closely related classes into two separate hierarchies, abstraction and implementation, which can be developed independently of each other. One example they have given over here with respect to shapes and different colors of different shapes. The bridge pattern attempts to solve it by replacing inheritance with delegations. Original classes will contain a reference to an object of a new hierarchy instead of storing all of its state and behavior inside of one class. Moving on to the intent of this bridge, it decouples an abstraction from its implementation so that the two can vary independently. The Another name, alternate name is handle or body. Use the bridge pattern when you want runtime binding of the implementation and you want to share an implementation among multiple objects. Motivation. When an abstraction can have one of the several possible implementations, the usual way to accommodate them is to use inheritance. An abstract class defines the interface to the abstraction and concrete subclasses implements it in different way. But this approach is not always flexible enough. enough. Inheritance binds an implementation to abstraction permanently, which makes it difficult to modify, extend, and reuse abstraction and implementation independently. Applicability. Use the bridge pattern when you want to avoid a permanent binding between an abstraction and its implementation. Both abstractions and their implementation should be extensible by subclassing. Changes in the implementation of an abstract should have no impact on the clients. Their codes should not have to be recompiled. You want to hide the implementation of an abstract completely from client. You have a proliferation of the class as I shown earlier in the first motivation diagram. It needs to use nested generalization. You want to share an implementation among multiple objects, and this fact should be hidden from the client. So structure is abstraction, implementer, redefined abstraction, concrete implementer A, concrete implementer B. So these two are this implementer extends complement implementer A and B classes. Participants are abstraction, then redefined abstraction, implementer, concrete implementers. So abstraction defines the abstraction's interface. It maintains a reference to an object of the type implementer, whereas redefined abstraction extends the interface defined by the abstraction. Implementer defines the interface for implementation classes. This interface does not have to correspond exactly to abstractions interface. In fact, the two interfaces can be quite different. Typically, the implementer interface provides only primitive operations and abstraction defines high-level operations based on these primitives. Concrete implementer implements the implementer interface and defines its concrete implementation. Collaboration is concerned abstraction forwards the client request to its implementer object. What are the consequences of bridge pattern? Decoupling interfaces and implementation, improved extensibility, hiding implementation details from the client. So these are nothing but the consequences. With respect to decoupling interface and implementation is not bound permanently to an interface. The implementation of an abstract can be configured at runtime. It's even possible for an object to change its implementation at runtime. Decoupling abstractions and implementer eliminates compile time dependencies on the implementation. It does not require recompiling. Under improved extensibility, you can extend abstraction and implementer hierarchies independently. Hiding implementation details from its client, you can shield clients from implementation details like the sharing of implementer objects and the accompanying reference count mechanism, if any. Now, implementation issues are concerned. Consider the following implementation issues when applying the bridge pattern. Only one implementer, creating the right implementer object, sharing implementers using multiple inheritance. So consider as far as only one implementer is concerned, where there is only one implementation creating an abstract implementer class, it is not necessary. And this is a degenerate case of bridge pattern. There is one-to-one relationship between abstraction and implementer. A change in the implementation of a class must not affect its existing clients. That is, they shouldn't have to be recompiled, just relinked. Creating the right implementer object, how, when, and where do you decide which implementer class to instantiate when there is more than one? If abstraction knows about all concrete implementer classes, it can decide between them based on the parameters passed to constructor. Example is a collection class supports multiple implementation based on size of the collection particular implementation is called. A linked list implementation can be used for small collection and a hash table for large ones. Another approach is to choose a default implementation initially and change it later according to usage. It is also possible to delegate the decision to another object altogether. Now, sharing implementers. Share implementation among several objects. The body stores a reference count that handle class increments and decrements. Using multiple inheritance. You can use multiple inheritance in C++ to combine an interface with its implementation. A class can inherit publicly from abstraction and privately from concrete implementer. But because this approach relies on static inheritance, it binds an implementation permanently to its interfaces. Therefore, you cannot implement a true bridge with multiple inheritance, at least not in C++. These are the known uses. In E++, it is called as window port. E++ window port or Windows port design extends the bridge pattern. libg++ defines the classes that implements common data. NEXT's ARP-Kit uses the bridge pattern in implementation and displays of graphical image. As far as related pattern is concerned, an abstract factory can create and configure a particular bridge. The adapted pattern is generated towards making unrelated classes to work together. So this is all about bridge pattern. If you have any issues, you can contact. Thank you so much.